Hello folks, welcome to another round of Modern. We have Ethan Lang playing Twiddle Storm, versus Sarah Ritchie playing Amulet Titan. Spoiler, he is in fact playing Twiddle Storm. In fact, that was the title of the video, it's probably why you clicked on it. That, or you clicked on it for the Titan. But, both of these decks are really cool. Obviously, if you've ever watched the channel before, / watched one of our Amulet Titan videos, I gush over Amulet Titan every single time we have it on the camera. It is my favorite deck in Magic. But Twiddle Storm's pretty cool. If you don't know how it works, you play a card called Twiddle. I think it's this tap or untap target land. It might even be target permanent. I'm not sure. We're gonna say land though. Just one blue. Pretty sure. I'm gonna pull it up to double check now. But you play Lotus Field, so you just make a bunch of mana. Twiddle. Caster may tap or untap any one land, creature, or artifact in play. Okay, so it is one mana in fact. Ooh, Manipulatore for the Italian version, not the point. So, you get Lotus Field in play, you tap it for 3 blue, you Twiddle, you untap it, and then you just go bing, 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 untap a bunch of times. With an Underworld Breach in play, that's how you untap a bunch of times. Eventually, there's a card, I think, that'll start milling you that you start casting, and then you find Grape Shot, and you kill somebody by Grape Shotting them a bunch of times. So, that is the combo. And then, if you don't know what Amulet Titan does, maybe you're a Twiddle Storm player who's just, I don't know, never played against Titan. It puts a bunch of lands into play and plays a 6/6 creature and attacks with it. Sometimes killing you with Valakut triggers. So, yeah. Catching up, Sarah went turn 1 Arboreal Grazer into Cruel Turf, then played a Besiege for a turn, and trying to see why we're tapped out. Ethan, his turn 2 is just going to consist of playing a Wishclaw Talisman. There's a Dryad of the Elysian Grove. This will allow Sarah an additional land drop per turn, and it makes all of her lands basic, or have every basic super type on them. Which is how you get to use Valakut the Molten Pinnacle. Alright. Puts the bounce line in, picks up the Besiege. We're at 5 mana total. On turn 3. There's another World to Gaze. So Ethan's going to look at the top 3 cards of his deck. He can put any number of them into the graveyard, and whatever ones he doesn't put in the graveyard, he can just leave on top of his deck in any order. So it has like a 2-fold effect in the deck, so he's trying to filter enough spells into the yard that he can cast, while also trying to find an Underworld Reach, or a Twiddle, or the Lotus Field if he doesn't have it already. I think that's the card that mills him, the one he just put there. I'm not super familiar with all the cards in the deck. I have a friend who plays Twiddle Storm at his local in Pittsburgh, but I've never played the deck myself. Alright, Sarah's going to draw a Slayer's Stronghold for turn. Not necessarily the card or the land you want to draw on Amulet Titan. It's something you usually want to search from the deck, but she doesn't have an Amulet Vigor, so it's A-okay. Alright, at this point, Primeval Titan's going to come out. He has an ETB trigger that will search the deck for any 2 lands and put them into play tapped. There's a whole variety of options that you can do here. You could do double Valakut just to do 12 damage to Ethan, especially if she has another land in hand, because then it's just lethal. Could do Tolaria West Growth Chamber, could do Valakut with a Growth Chamber, that way you could pick up the Tolaria West already in play. There's a lot of things. You could set up your second Titan, you could just go double Saga. I think personally, the Valakut play is probably the correct. The Valakut line is the correct line, assuming that, you have another land drop in hand. I think she might have only done 6 damage. It's all good. But for future reference, the Valkuts do see themselves because they count as mountains due to Dryad of the Elysian Grove's effect. So those 2 Valkuts entering the board are supposed to do 12 damage. 6 each. Alright, Ethan's going to go first this time, leading on a Swamp into an Inquisition of Kozilek. He's got an interesting hand here. Teleri West, Summer's Pact, Titan, Dryad, Crumbling Vestige, Valakut Saga. Not a hand I think I would keep going second. Not having a untapped green source, or I think a green source in general, really, besides the Crumbling Vestige, this is kind of in a rough spot to be. Right, there's another Saga. Now, one thing you could always do is just have the Saga go and find, for its third chapter, ability to go find Expedition Map. There's a Wishclaw Talisman coming out. I think here you lead with, or you play Valakut and you just kind of pass.
Yeah.
Currently, both decks are just like 2 ships, you know, just sailing in the night. I wanted to say soaring in the night, but that's just not correct. Ships don't soar. I think. Alright, Ethan's going to shock in a Water Grave here. Going to 17. Going to cast Serum Visions. A card I think I just haven't seen in a long time. Not since Consider has been printed. Maybe? Maybe longer? I don't know. Alright, so Sarah's going to float a mana off of that. Or is the Saga going to get an Amulet of Vigor? Again, I don't know if that's the line I would have taken myself. I think Expedition Map is probably a little bit better. Because you use the colorless mana in the untapped Valakut, and you just go search your deck for a green land. That way you start to assemble. Titan mana? Because currently, like, the Amulet's good. It just doesn't do anything without a bounce land. In this position. You could, like, pseudo-form a bounce land with Crumbling Vestige, because it'll produce 2 mana the turn it comes into play, but I don't know. Alright, blue-black, flashback, Otherworldly Gaze. Gonna look at the top 3 cards of the deck. Yeah, one thing she could have done last turn would be like, I think she has a Pact in hand. She could play the Crumbling Vestige for turn, make a green with its ETB effect, Pact for Dryad, and just vomit lands into play. Assuming she has enough, because then she could just tap them all for green and pay for the Pact trigger. Do you get enough lands into play in that for that? I don't think you do. I think you would have to Azusa and have the green lands already. Alright, I'm going to tap that for green because of Dryad's ability. Play Arboreal Grazer. That'll put in the Teleri West and the Amulet will untap it. Ethan is going to gaze into the other world. So Sarah has 4 mana here. If she draws a bounce land, she's in there, right? Like she needs to go bounce land Titan. Probably kill. Vesuva also does it, because Vesuva can copy Crumbling Vestige. You could have it enter the battlefield, make it green, untap it for green, tap the rest of them, play a thing. Castle Garenberg is also, I think, the other land that Castle Garenberg is the other land that she can draw to get Titan. So Sarah's in an okay spot, right? Like, her chances of drawing one of the things that leads to Titan is actually pretty high. Because there should be anywhere from 2 to 4 Garenbergs in the deck. There should be 9 to 10 bounce lands left in the deck, depending on how many she's running. And then the one Vesuva.
Still trying to figure out what the hell your deck does.
Me too, I think.
Though she has to pay for Pact.
Actually even do anything here.
But
As crazy as that seems.
so Ethan, at the very least, does get another turn.
As good as mine. Solid choice for your lands, though. Your land, solid choice.
These? Thank you. I try. We're gonna make blue mana and attempt Otherworldly Gaze.
Go for it.
Going to flashback Otherworld Gaze here. Drops an Inquisition of Kozilek and what looks like a Mistress Bauble. Leaves one card on top.
The card that I picked.
Relic of Progenitus would be a hell of a card to pick up right now.
What? I can't. That's max. Play it.
I think that is her remembering to pay for her pack trigger.
Bounce it. Play it again. Play it again.
Go
Bounce
to
it.
4 mana, pick up the Teleria West, transmuting the Teleria West with one floating. I don't know if that's what you want to do here. You could just go get another land, right? Like, that's an option. But I think you just, like, leave the Growth Chamber in your hand and pass the turn. Just hope you don't die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. I was like, because we don't have Valakut triggers yet.
This one did not go the way I was hoping it would, but when you pull that out turn 4 against the artifact deck,
How's it pass?
more than half my mana.
I'm very unhappy with my hand right now.
I wonder if Ethan plays Fatal Push in this deck.
So,
One thing he could have done, if he does, because he still has that Witchclaw Talisman, is he could have, the turn that Sarah would have had to pay for Pact,
tap that.
during his turn he could have activated the Witchclaw Talisman, search his deck for Fatal Push, and then Fatal Push the Dryad. Because you have Revolt Trigger, because it's a permanent left your board, because the Witchclaw Talisman exchanges control. And then she dies to her Pact Trigger. There's an Underworld Breach. And that means, at this point in the time, as long as Ethan has a Twiddle, I think the game's over.
Twiddle, untap Lotus Field.
Yeah.
Tap Lotus Field for 3 blue.
So we're going to float a metric fuck ton of mana.
I have, 10 pilots on the field, I tap them all to crew various creatures, I tap all of them to crew each
To,
Do
oh,
you mind keeping track of Storm for me?
Sure.
Alright, so I'm at 2 right now.
Grape shot?
In there. So we're gonna escape Twiddle. So pay a blue mana, escape 3 cards, untap.
gas Twiddle. We're going to go to 5 mana.
5 mana, blue spells.
I think Sarah's keeping track of Storm here.
Tap.
We do 4,
And I got Tomb Scour, which mills
go to
the
7,
And so basically, like, the loop is like I'm gonna be able to like mill my entire deck.
go to 5, you're going to mill 5 cards.
Until you hit grape shot.
Yeah, exactly. So I get the Tomb Scour twice, which mills 10.
And then demonstrating how the loop works.
Get the Twiddle, right? So that's mana neutral.
He'll always go mana positive at least 1, and then he can just go Twiddle that card,
So I can
mill his whole deck till he finds Grape Shot, Storm count a bunch of times,
I mean,
Grape Shot you until you die.
I don't like
Escape.
That was my hand.
Nice.
So Sarah has conceded the game. I think they're just showing off how the combo works.
Yep. 3. Tomb Scour myself.
AKA, just go until you find Grape Shot and show me the Grape Shot.
Tomb Scour myself.
4 turns to get that off. Very low. And I don't have a chain bail because there's no
You
need
know,
for me to have a chain bail.
when I Teleria Westing myself,
Escape Twiddle.
I was gonna grab the Jukabog, but I couldn't play it.
Tomb Scour myself.
What?
Why did you grab a land?
Because I couldn't play it. That turn, and I didn't think I was gonna get to the next turn.
Tomb Scour myself. So there's the Grape Shot.
What?
And then so
You left yourself on 5 mana. You do untap and you don't draw a land.
So I'm gonna Twiddle
Because Veil's
twice, make 6 red mana,
Found some loose match cards in that deck box.
and then cast Grape Shot 3 times.
I picked up a deck box and I was like, what is this?
I don't know.
Found a bunch of random
Track
things.
Storm. Keep track of Storm.
You were at least 6.
Or so is my
I
life.
picked
By the
Grape
time we
Shots,
stopped.
right. I'm gonna bobble myself. The shotgun 8.
Alright, we are now in Game 3. Sarah's leading on a Castle Garenbrig. That comes in tap because she has an upper forest. Ethan goes into a watery grave, into a Otherworldly Gaze. I blanked really hard on the name there. Jesus Christ.
Leave those 2 on top.
And they're like, that's a combo.
That is a
I was like,
combo.
that's the purest thing ever. I love that.
Combination. Go ahead. Draw from bottom.
Make a green.
Alright, Sarah's going to
Boreal Grazer.
Yep.
have Crumbling Vestige make a green when it enters, play a Arboreal Grazer. Resolving the Arboreal Grazer trigger, putting a land into play, and then playing a Pithing Needle. I'm assuming naming Wishclaw Talisman? I think it's the only activated ability in the deck.
That's decent.
Alright, going to suspend a Profane Tutor here. Draws a Cavernous Souls for turn. Plays Garenbrig for turn, comes in tapped. So we have almost enough mana for Titan. Sarah has an untapped green source. She has Titan mana next turn.
Flashback Otherworldly Gaze.
Or if she has Amulet plus Bounce Land. Otherworldly Gaze is going to dump 3 cards into the yard. Lotus Field's going to come in, sacrifice 2 lands.
That's
Alright, we have Veil of Summer in hand, Cavern, Pact, other things? Vesuva, that's the other land. Or other card in hand. I could not tell it was a land, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Pact.
Yep.
Alright, Pacts for Dryad of the Elysian Grove.
I'll name Giant.
Sure.
Good.
Profane Tutor.
I'm a little confused about that. I'm not gonna lie to you. She could have just put Vesuva in as a copy of Garenbrig or Sanctuary. And then packed it for Titan next turn and played it.
Draw for turn.
Because then you can just bog Ethan. And then next turn attack with Titan.
So storm count is 2. Or 1? 1. And
Alright, Ethan's going to tap for 3 red. Plays an Underworld Reach. Red floating. Unfortunately, without a land to play for turn, I don't think he can do very much here.
I'm an idiot.
Okay. You're not the only one here.
Complete Neanderthal. I'm going to play.
I'm going to cast a Mishra's Bauble. Escaping Mishra's Bauble. Going to bauble somebody. This passes the turn.
Draw from bobble.
Okay.
Oh, we did double bauble. Okay.
Sure.
Alright, so everybody's for packed.
Oh, man.
Alright, so she drew Teleri West Return. She could play Vesuba here as a copy of Crumbling Vestige, so enter, have it make a blue, and then you can tap the Cavern and the Urza Saga for blue, and transmute it.
Sitting there like I can't do anything. Stop you're doing. Now you get to have a lot of cards. Pass you.
I'll float a green.
Yeah.
Alright, Saga's going to pop here. Going to go fetch an Amulet of Vigor. Alright, transmute Teleri West. Using the floating color from Urza Saga. Probably should have tapped the Cavern Souls for with Dryad's ability instead of the castle, because then if you have a bounce land, you can go play bounce land for turn, make 2 mana. Tap Selesnya Sanctuary. Tap Garenberg, make 6. Return bounce land to hand.
That guy, no. Space chance.
Does she already have a Titan / Pact in hand? Pale Vesuva, Watery Grave? No, Breeding Pool.
I'm gonna Valakut off to Teleria.
Okay, gets a copy of Valakut.
I'll play it as my land for turn.
Plays Valakut as land for turn. Plays Vesuva. This is going to do 6 damage. Taking Ethan to 8.
Taking 6? Is that how that works?
Deals 3.
3?
Because it doesn't see itself. Is it 6?
It does,
6.
so I'm doing 6. I'm going there. 14?
Yeah.
I'm at 8.
Yeah, go ahead.
Alright, Sarah opts to just pass the turn.
Draw for turn. Make blue mana. Zero visions. Cards in hand.
2.
Bottom boot.
Alright, plays Island for turn.
Use 1 mana. Play Pithing Needle.
Plays Pithing Needle. I'm assuming on Valkadon Pinnacle. How to activate ability? It's a triggered ability.
And
Needle hit triggered ability?
pass.
Pass.
Yeah.
Grade 8. Roll turf.
It's not naming Valakut. Alright, we're going to play a land for turn. We're going to do 6 damage. We're going to do it again. We're going to do 6 more damage. Alright, folks. Amulet Titan takes a 2-1 over Twiddle Storm. Thank you for watching and have a great rest of your day.